all with that speed. Doing a review of the Panigale V4s, model year 2018-2019. Looking up these the model years together because they absolutely changed nothing between the 18 and 19 years. So what we'll do is we'll do a walk around on the bike. I'll show you some of the features I bought on it, some of the upgrades I did on it, and we'll go from there. So what you can see on this bike from a performance modification standpoint, take a nice close look. You can see the magnesium wheels, both front and rear. You could see the slipper clutch, the dry clutch setup, and you could see the full titanium exhaust with the up map. So those are the performance modifications. You can call the rear sets a performance modification. I went with the CNC limited edition V4 rear sets. A little more expensive than the Rizomas, but really nice rear sets. They have a little more articulation to them. When you look at these rear sets closely, you'll see they could bend in if you ever go down. I'm not sure if they work. You know, I'd rather not test it on a low side, but you know, they look sharp. Oil cap that could wire back to your cover. This way, when you go to the track, you don't have to worry about drilling a hole. I got some frame covers you can see here. New Louis Moto seat cover. I got a tidy tail, the RNG. New grips by Ducati, and the bar ends by Rizoma with the brake guard and the Rizoma Wave reservoirs. Just a quick walk around the bike. Take a look at the bike from all angles. It's a sharp looking bike. Ducati always makes nice looking bikes. Also, with another upgrade on this bike, I got the ultra lightweight chain and sprocket set. So taking a look at the sprocket, you can see it's not a stock sprocket. I did not go plus anything on the rear. It's a standard size sprocket. I did go with the black bushings and the accentuated red hub with the silver chain. Didn't go with the gold chain. Not enough really gold. I thought the Olin suspension really kind of just pops out by itself. You didn't need any more gold. But also with this bike comes fully adjustable Olins. You could adjust rebound, dampening, and preload, all from electronics. The electronics are very, very complicated, so we're really not going to get into too much electronics today. What we'll do is we'll just show you the basic riding modes, and we'll save an electronics video for another day, because that's probably a 15-minute video in itself. But otherwise, here's the bike, here's how it looks. We'll show you some clips on riding. The next thing I'm going to show you is the stats on the bike. I'll show you stats on the stock bike. I'll show you stats on what Ducati claims the exhaust does for this bike. The wheels don't increase horsepower, obviously. They increase acceleration. They decrease your moment of inertia. So acceleration, deceleration, but they shouldn't touch the horsepower. The same with the clutch. The clutch is not going to increase the horsepower on the bike. It will help with loss on the transmission. So if the bike had a 9% loss in transmission, the slipper clutch, the dry clutch should give it an 8% or thereabouts. So you should see a little more horsepower to the rear wheel versus a stock bike. But it's probably nominal, 1 or 2 horsepower, unless you're a MotoGP racer, you know, or a high-level amateur racer. You're not going to notice that difference. But we'll show you some clips of some rides. We'll show you some clips of the engine, and we'll show you some aerial footage. So stay tuned. Thanks. Take a look at the stats on the V4S stock model. V4 90 degree, 1103. The torque sitting at 124, power at 157.5. That's 214 horsepower. All taken from Wikipedia. Take a look at some of the engine photos. Some redesign, 81 millimeter piston bore. The rearward rotating crankshaft derived from MotoGP. Twin pulse firing order. A lot of thought, a lot of effort, a lot of rework into this engine. Complete ground up redesign from the old V-twin that Ducati loved, now into a V4. Here's a picture of the powerhouse. Now on my bike that we're going to be reviewing today, the performance modifications I have done, which is the full exhaust with the fuel mapping, the dry clutch to give you a few more horsepower to the ground, and the magnesium wheels to give you a little more acceleration. So Ducati claims that with the exhaust, we should be putting out 224 horsepower. And, you know, what we should expect to see a 10 to 7% decrease or loss of power to the ground on the dyno. So when we do the dyno, we should see about 202. everyone. So to recap, we did a walk around on this bike. We took a look at the stats on the stock bike. We took a look at the stats on this modified bike. We took a look at some engine components. You saw some videos of me riding it. You saw some videos off the front, from the back, from behind, all kinds of shots. You saw some dyno results. Now it's time to make a decision. Whether you want to buy this kind of bike, you want to buy a Ducati or a BMW or a Aprilia, whatever you want to buy. It's really it's a hard decision to make, and the only way you're going to know is if you test drive these bikes, you ride them, you'll fall in love with it, and the one you fall in love with is the one you want to buy. So that is the one I recommend. But I do highly recommend this Panigale. I love this bike. I love the way it handles, how it turns in, how it leans. It's just it's almost like it was built for me. That's why I fell in love with it. So I hope you like this video. Any questions, comments, please post. Let us know if we missed something, if you want to see something else. Like, subscribe, and give us some feedback. Thanks so much, everybody.